Yo, what's up everybody? Alexander here, and I'm happy to see you guys, eh? So today, this is gonna be a very informative video about how to move to Malta. Before we start the video, Luda, how do you like this? So fucking good. I did a move from Sweden to Malta, and now I'm gonna be teaching you and giving you some insights of good stuff and bad stuff about moving and how to move. Mainly from Scandinavia, but I think this concerns like all the countries, basically like the normal steps of moving. So let's begin. Let's get into it, guys. So first one is, how do you start the move from going from like, hey, I want to move, to actually moving? Well, the first thing that you're gonna do is try to get a job. When getting a job here, it's pretty easy. If you're from Scandinavia and you have a second language but English, so you're not like mainly speaking English, and maybe for me example, I speak Swedish and English, I can use my Swedish speaking ability in a job down here. So that's what I am doing right now. If you have that ability, it's very easy to get a job here because there's a lot of like what I'm working with customer support, so it's very easy to use my ability for Swedish companies that are based here, to use my Swedish ability for Swedish customers back in Sweden. Pretty fucking simple, right? So if you speak Finnish, you can do that too. You can be a content writer for your language, or just fucking kick ass, you know? So the first thing you want to do is you want to contact either your you need to contact your tax agency, because you're not gonna be taxing anymore, paying taxes in your country that you're currently living in. So you have to contact your tax agency saying that you want to move out and that what country you're gonna move to. And then you can also contact the insurance agency, but we'll get to that, why you should or should not contact them. All right, so first off, to be able to move down here, you need to have a job, right? You have to have a place to stay at. So there's multiple things that you can do. Either you can like, I'll put links down to everything that I use to get down here, and really good links, and I've tried pretty much everything, so I know which that worked for me and didn't work for me, so I'm not gonna recommend you stuff that didn't work for me. So with that said, here are like one apartment site that they put out rentals, and there's also this Facebook site who also put out rental apartments. So if you click on those, I'll have them in the link down below, so make sure to check them out. This one is called Frank Salt, and this one is called Malta Svenskar, Swedish people in Malta basically. But I bet they have those kind of Facebook groups depending on where you're from, you know? If you're from Finland, like Finnish people in Malta or Danish people in Malta, I bet they have all those kind of things. They have it for Swedish people, so if you're Swedish, you're in the luck, because I'll have the link for you down below. Sorry, but the rest of you just have to fucking use Facebook search. But Facebook is a really good platform to use to get help. So let's say you want to work within iGaming. So how do you find a job down here? There is multiple companies that provide gaming or stuff like that for other countries. They're based here in Malta, and it's very simple to find a job here. You search like job in Malta. Also this Facebook group right here, it can also, you know, if you go in there and say like, if you're Swedish of course, if you go in there and say like, hey, I am searching for a job in Malta, I'm considering to moving, you'll get a ton of replies. What you want to check with the companies that want to hire you is whether or not you're insured by the company. If you're paying insurance through the company, so you're insured on your off time as well. It's if you get hit by a car, for example, you're insured. If they don't provide that, then you have to go to an insurance company, and those you can just Google insurance company in Malta. All right, so next subject is gonna be tips and things to be prepared for when coming to Malta. I recommend, because I did it, I went to a ton of viewings of apartments to see what kind of, because first you have to make a budget. You have to make a budget so you know what you're gonna be able to afford renting and also living on the side with, because you can't pay your whole salary on rental, on the rent, right? So what I did a budget, and then I went around with a real estate agent from this company, and we saw like, I don't know, 20 apartments at least before I made up my mind and I found an apartment. He made me, you know, get my first 2 feet on the ground here. You also have to be prepared. Let's say a rent costs 600 euros a month, and then you have to be prepared for the rent, the electricity bill to also be around 100 euros. So make that in your budget. So if you find an apartment that costs 500 euros and you're like, oh shit, this is so fucking cheap, I can totally afford this. And then the electricity bill is at 100 euros too, so that makes it 600. You know, you're gonna be like, you know, can't afford that anymore. So make sure you do a budget from based off of the salary that the company that want to hire you is offering you, so you know what you have to play around with. And places that I'd recommend if you're working to live at is either Mosta, Sliema, St. Julian's or Valletta. And everything in between. There's like Gezira, Mesida, fucking Pitea, I don't know. There's a lot of places, small places, but those are like the 4 or 5 main areas to live in because it's walking distance to your job, so you don't have to take the buses or you don't have to take a cab every day. Because I did that. And taking cabs here, they are cheap, but if you're continuously using them, then you know that's obviously gonna rack up. So for me to take a cab from here in Sliema to Mosta, it's probably gonna be around 20 euros. I'll put up a map right here and you can see here is Sliema and then going up. And how do you move around in Malta? Either take the bus, but taking the bus on your free time and rather than depending on a bus getting you to the work. I would never trust a bus here because they're rarely on time and they can be like 10 minutes before or after the said time. So I would never really trust a bus going around. But if you're on your free time and you want to explore, then sure, a bus is a really cheap option compared to a taxi. And if you get stuck with a taxi in traffic, it's gonna be very expensive. Then last question is, why would you move to Malta? Why Malta and not like Greece or Italy or, you know, everything? Main reason is that it's pretty low tax here. And the food and everything is very cheap, and it's also good for your CV. It's a nice feeling of being independent, you know, you moved away, and it's a cool feat, and it's a beautiful country. And you know, like if I can show you, if you can see here, it's fucking sun shining outside and everything, you know, it's always good weather. And especially when the tourism starts popping, everybody's happy because, you know, they're on their summer vacation kind of thing, and it's just good to be around, you know, it's a good time feeling all around pretty much. Winters here are pretty okay. It's no snow. It's like we had really strong winds. If you saw my friend Anomaly's video, shout outs to his fucking merch, by the way. If you saw his video, you can see how he was affected by the storm. That we didn't get it here, so it all depends on your location. But that's like the winter for you. That was like the worst storm we had for 30 years here apparently. But anyways, winters aren't too bad. We never drop below like 5 degrees. So, you know, it gets cold, but it doesn't get too cold. It's also a great working experience moving down or moving away from your main country. Let's say when you move back to Norway or Sweden or Denmark or Finland, no matter, you're applying for a new job and they're gonna see that you've lived outside the country and worked there and you were able to maintain the job and everything. You did a good thing while being away. That's gonna be a real punch in your CV, looking really good. A lot of people who hire people, they like to see that kind of, they want to see that you have courage, you know, that you dare to, you know. I hope this has taught you some things. If you have any more questions or this wasn't informative enough, just drop it down below. I'll also put all the links for what I used to move here. Thank you guys for watching this entire film. I'm very happy and I hope you guys are happy, and I hope to see you guys in Malta soon, pretty much. I forgot one important thing. I was just gonna sit down and edit, but I just figured out that I forgot to tell you this. If you're gonna be staying here for more than 6 months, which I really hope you will, and for your benefits as well, you have to get a residence card. And this is what I've learned coming from Sweden, because this applies in Sweden at least. So I don't know how it works in like Denmark or Finland or Norway, for example. After you've lived here for more than 6 months, you can't be insured in Sweden and reap the benefits of being insured by a different country than Malta. So if you're up until 6 months and you break your leg and you have to pay, you know, a amount of money for the hospital, your country will cover it. That's what in Sweden, after 6 months, it won't be covered. So you have to get an insurance. That's why it's very important that you make sure that the company insures you or you're insured by yourself. And insuring by yourself is pretty cheap as well. It's not a big deal, but you also have to get, after 6 months, you have to apply for a residence card. By doing that, you go here to this building. I'll put up a big screen of the building, and here on this map is where it's located, outside on the edge of Valletta basically. And it's very simple to get there. It's called like Malta ID Center or something, and once you get there, you know, you ask them and like, hey, I'm a EU member or a non-EU member. I don't know how it works with non-EUs, but if you're from EU moving here and want to get a residence card, you just go up and say like, yo dude, I want to get the EU membership residence card thing, you know, and they're like, I'll put you in a line over there. And after that, they give you a bunch of papers. You fill those papers in, you come back with the papers, they take a photo of you, they give you a paper that's a temporary residence card, and after a few months they'll send you out the residence card for go and collect it again at the same building. It's very simple, and after that you're good to go. Then you don't have to walk around with your passport all the time. When I went to Sicily, I forgot my passport because I didn't have a residence card. If I had a residence card, I wouldn't need my passport. Does that make sense? Anyways, so thank you guys for this time. I hope this was a informative enough video for you guys. If not, just drop your questions down below. I will also try to upload more regularly, but it's hard, you know, working full-time and everything. But summer is just around the corner here, so it's gonna be a lot of fun vlogs coming out. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscription to stay tuned for when I upload more stuff. Thank you for this one.